Question number 2. I'm stuck with my writing before I even really get started. I have 2 first chapters for 2 different books, and I am thinking of 2 others. I want to do NaNoWriMo this year, but can't decide which to pick. I know this is partly procrastination to put off actually writing more than 1 chapter and getting stuck, but do you have any tips on choosing which project to work on? This is a pretty common issue to have. A lot of people, sometimes, especially when they're getting started, have problems to choosing which project. So here's a few of my best tips for choosing which project to work on. One is, which one do you have the most robust idea of? Which one, maybe you're not a plotter, but even if you're not a plotter, which book can you say, okay, here's what happens, here's what happens, here's what happens. So you're not going to get stuck in the writing after the second chapter because you have no idea. Which book are you most excited about writing? Which one most appeals to you? Which one do you feel most passionate about? Especially for somebody who hasn't gotten to the end, like who hasn't finished a book, I always recommend writing the book that you are most passionate about. Don't worry about anything else right now. Just worry about figuring out if you can get to the end of a book. Which one feels most kind of doable? Like, is there one that feels really heavy with world building and really dense characterization and complicated plots? Maybe that's not the one that you want to dive into right now because that feels too overwhelming. Maybe you want to go with a slightly simpler project, something that's a little bit more straightforward. So, again, you can get that experience of getting to the end. Do you know what your publishing goals are or what success looks like for you? Like, if you haven't thought about what you want out of your publishing career, well, if you're questioning which project to write, now might be a good time to ask yourself that question, because then you can figure out which of those projects is most likely to get you to that point, to get you to those goals, to get you to success and things like that. And then maybe it's important to you that you're writing something that's super marketable or that fans really want. Okay, well, which idea that you have is the most marketable? What's most on trend right now? I'm not saying that's what you have to write. I'm saying that might be important to you and so a factor of consideration for you. So those are just a few things to think about when you're thinking about what project to get started. I do think for NaNoWriMo, it's best to stick to one project unless you're an experienced author, an experienced writer, somebody who's used to juggling projects. Nano is fantastic. And for those of you who don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it's National November Writing Month. I think I got that right. And it's a month-long project where you write every day to hit 50,000 words, and that's how you win NaNoWriMo. So NaNoWriMo is fantastic for helping you get to the end because it encourages you to reduce writing every day to get that word count down. Now, it's not going to work for everybody. And even if you participate in Nano, you may need to modify your goal because 50,000 words in a month isn't doable for you. But if you are having issues getting to the end of a project, Nano is a great one. But definitely do, as you said, pick one project. Don't do 2, don't do 4. Pick one and really focus on getting into the habit of working on that one and getting to the end.